Every day, millions of people tell themselves, this is the last time. And then a few hours later, they're back watching porn again. Not because they're weak. Not because they're stupid. But because modern pornography is designed to exploit some of the most powerful reward systems in the human brain. So the question isn't simply, how do I stop watching porn? The real question is, why is it so difficult to stop in the first place? And more importantly, what practical steps actually work? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that porn isn't just about sex. For many people, it's become a coping mechanism. They're stressed, so they watch porn. They're lonely, so they watch porn. They're bored, so they watch porn. They're anxious, so they watch porn. Over time, the brain starts creating a shortcut. Negative emotion. Porn. Temporary relief. Negative emotion. Porn. Temporary relief. Repeat that cycle enough times and the brain begins to automate it. Research suggests that problematic pornography use can activate many of the same reward pathways involved in other compulsive behaviors. That's one reason some people find it surprisingly difficult to stop once it becomes a habit. That's why many people eventually find themselves watching even when they're not particularly horny. At that point, it isn't just about sexual desire anymore. It's about habit. It's about escape. It's about teaching the brain that whenever life feels uncomfortable, porn is the solution. And once people understand this, they usually make a huge mistake. They try to quit using motivation alone. They tell themselves they'll be stronger this time. More disciplined this time. More determined this time. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll have it. Some days you won't. The people who successfully quit usually don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Think about it. If a recovering alcoholic kept bottles of whiskey beside their bed, would we expect willpower alone to save them? Probably not. Yet many people trying to quit porn keep unlimited access to it 24 hours a day and then blame themselves when they relapse. In reality, environment often beats willpower. Which brings us to the first practical thing you can do. For the next 7 days, write down every urge you experience. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just record it. What time was it? What were you feeling? Where were you? What happened before the urge appeared? Most people think their urges are random. They're usually not. After a week, you'll start noticing patterns. Maybe it's midnight. Maybe it's after an argument. Maybe it's when you're scrolling social media. Maybe it's when you're alone in your room with nothing to do. You can't fix a pattern until you can see it. The next step is to make watching porn more difficult. Not impossible. Just difficult. Use website blockers. Delete bookmarks. Unfollow accounts that trigger you. Move your phone away from your bed. Charge it in another room. Make it inconvenient. Because every extra step creates a chance for your rational brain to catch up with your impulsive brain. And here's another mistake people make. They remove porn but replace it with absolutely nothing. Now they're bored. Now they're restless. Now they are frustrated. And the brain starts craving the same dopamine hit it used to get. So don't just remove the habit. Replace it. Exercise. Learn a skill. Work on a project. Read. Go outside. Call a friend. Do something that creates genuine engagement. The brain hates a vacuum. If you don't give it something healthier to move toward, it'll keep pulling you back toward what you're trying to leave behind. Now let's talk about urges. Because urges aren't permanent. Most people treat an urge like an emergency. It isn't. It's more like a wave. It rises. It peaks. Then it falls. So the next time you feel the urge to watch porn, don't tell yourself you'll never do it again. That's too overwhelming. Instead, tell yourself, I'll wait 10 minutes. Just 10. You'd be surprised how many urges disappear when they're not fed immediately. And while we're on the subject, we need to talk about lifestyle. A lot of relapses happen when people are exhausted, stressed, isolated, and inactive. Poor sleep increases impulsive decision-making. Chronic stress increases the desire for quick dopamine. Loneliness increases the desire for artificial comfort. So if you're sleeping for hours a night, never exercising, and spending all day isolated, you're making this battle much harder than it needs to be. Finally, if you relapse, don't turn one mistake into a full surrender. This is where many people lose. They watch porn once and immediately tell themselves they've failed. But think about it this way. If you went to the gym for 30 days and missed one workout, would all your progress disappear overnight? Of course not. The same principle applies here. A relapse is information. Study it. What triggered it? What situation led to it? What can you change next time? The real danger isn't falling once. The real danger is deciding that one fall means you've lost. Because you haven't. If you're trying to stop watching porn, remember this. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is control. Understand your triggers. Make the habit harder to access. Replace it with something better. Learn to sit with urges instead of obeying them. Improve your lifestyle. And keep going, even when you stumble. Because every time you choose awareness over impulse, you're strengthening a different part of yourself. And over time, those small decisions become a different life.